with Livevol. This is where I use my real Reg T account, and I use LVX to trade, and then you guys can see how I use the software. So let me actually hop right to it. So let's see how I'm doing today. Basically, it looks like I'm pretty flat today overall. Some winners, some losers, but in the end, pretty flat. But let me actually go over some of my positions. Let's actually talk about Apple. So in Apple, as you guys know, I've been bullish for a while, but the stock hasn't really performed as well as I liked. But I did buy these April 10 and April 30 call spread way back for $11.50. And if you look at them now, looks like they're worth about $13.40, with Apple down about $4. And the reason I bought this spread for $11.50 was because I thought that if Apple stayed at $5.30 or higher, I would make $8.50 on an $11.50 investment, right? So that's kind of my whole premise. That's why I bought all these other call spread. Looks like Apple's been just getting pounded for the past week or so. Although if I look at this chart, it doesn't even look like too much, but it's been kind of going down. Right now it's up $4, but I think the jury is still out. I would kind of need it to go a lot higher in the next couple of weeks. But going into next week's expiration, I just need Apple to trade 530 or higher, and I will get the full amount that I actually the $20 worth of spread that I originally put on. So we'll see if it works out. I think right now it's kind of a toss-up, even though I think it's going to go up. But when I look at the Apple stock action for the past months and months, and to me, it's not really it doesn't give me the most confidence that it's going to go up. And as you guys know, the order flow has been just basically stagnant, right? So it's like always like a little bit more calls to puts, but in general, like it's not really leaning one way or another. So that's in Apple. So what I decided to do a little bit, just because I wasn't doing as well, was kind of like just stick with the kind of like go back, be less aggressive, and kind of stick with what the order flow will kind of dictate to me what to look at. And if I like something here, I can actually go back and investigate. So as you guys know, I have this watch list trade, and I pretty much put in for everything that's 1,000 or more, and I've been scanning. So there was a couple of interesting trades today, but I'll actually go over some of the other trades that I saw. So because of these order flows, I have these positions on, and let me actually recap. So people bought this call spread in HCI October 6-8, so I bought this call spread as well for a slightly better price. As you guys know, in DFC, basically they're getting investigated for all these for the company being sold for $9.50, and I bought this time spread for $0.10 and 15 cents, and looks like more people are buying these May 10 calls, either as protection, but most likely it's probably pure speculation that if they might have to revise the price. So that's another one that I piggybacked. FXI, what I did was I piggybacked that 1x2. And right now the only thing I have left is these puts right here naked, but I already made my money on these 35 puts that I bought back, so I should be pretty good on those. So the one that I saw, and then yesterday I saw this trade in Splunk, and as you can see, somebody bought the May 65 and sold the April 65. They bought this time spread for 190. So basically, I piggybacked it for 185. I thought about it yesterday, and I liked it, so I was gonna try to do some more. So the way I was thinking was on these trades where I try to piggyback somebody else, I was gonna try to kind of have maybe $500 to $1,000 on what I'm willing to risk. So that's why I'm putting in 2 more. So if you look at it, I want to buy 2 more of these for 90. Not sure if I'm going to be able to get filled. Let me actually see what the bid and ask is. Yeah, it's total 5 bids, so most likely I'm not going to get filled on this. But I generally like the trade just because you know, it was at the bottom range. There seemed to be some support around 60. This order flow comes in, and then the volatility was well, I guess it's a lot higher now, but it was it looked like it was rising a little. So it might be worth it to maybe try to have a position where I sell some more vol, but that would mean I have to risk some more, and right now most likely I don't want to do that. And then in Masco, and this is where I might have to revise the way I do stuff. So I bought these for 40 because people are buying a ton of them. And I wanted to, it was like a short-term play. I wanted to get it out, but I missed it because I was working, and now basically it's dead. So I think going forward, I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with these positions where I'm trying to get out. Maybe I'll put in like a limit order, so if it hits it, I get out even when I'm not around or something. Usually, I don't like to do that too much, but just because, like, you know, there could be some announcement that gets the stock up like 10%, and you know, I'm gonna get lifted for 40 cents. So usually I don't like to do it, but you know, maybe I have to consider that as part of my strategy. So this morning there was some interesting trades. So I saw this in Micron, and it went up on that ticker. So basically, if I go to April 19, let me actually go to the stats tab. This will be easier. So on this May 20 line, you can see how many calls were being bought, right? So there's 48,000 calls traded, 20,000 puts. I look at the May 20s, and 10,000 of these trades for 287, 288, etc., right? So what I would start doing was I started looking. I know they had pretty good earnings, but the stock took kind of a dive, probably because maybe, I don't know, even with the good earnings, maybe people are expecting more. But you know, it looks like it's kind of like at this $20 range, like maybe intermediate support here. And this guy is buying 10,000 calls, right? So that combined with, you know, the volatility, if I look at, you know, volatility is at the 17th percentile. It's pretty low vol. So all that combined made me want to buy some calls. So that's why I bought them. So I bought them for 288. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to set some price target. So what I did in this MU was I think I set some alerts. So you know, I want to be notified when it goes to 23, and then if it goes down to 22, I want to be alerted as well. And then so right now it's 22.56, but whether, if it hits 22, let me know in 23, and that's when I'll make my decision on whether I want to stay in on this trade or be out on the trade. So I paid 287, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I paid 287. So basically around 550 bucks. It's what I'm going to risk. It's kind of what my new risk tolerance is on these trades. So I put that in there. Also, the reason I did it was yesterday, there was some heavy activity in SMH. So let me actually go to 2 days. Yeah, so yesterday there was some heavy call buying of the August 50 calls in SMH. So I knew, so it wasn't like the first time. So this kind of gave me like a hint, maybe the semiconductor, the group in general, maybe people are betting on the upside. And then this morning when I saw Micron, basically it reinforced that, and that made me more comfortable basically buying those calls. So we'll see what happens. Right now I'm up a little, but I think it's really too early to do anything. But so far so good. And my thinking is that now usually when I was trading, I would just keep this long until this guy got out. But in my instance, maybe I'll figure out when I think the top might be, or like what am I expecting. Maybe if it goes back up to like the 24.50 range or something like that is when so $2 more, if it goes up there, I'll just kind of get out and just consider it a trade well done, right? So I'm trying new stuff, trying to figure it out and see how it goes. I saw an interesting trade in DXJ. So this is the Wisdom Tree Japan like total dividend ETF. But the part that did catch my eye was this, that basically these 45.38 puts, right? So let me actually go to those. Right, so I see all these things trade this morning, and it's pretty much was all sells in the morning. So even this 2,000 buy was a standing order that was out there, and then people lifted it. So even this 2,000 lot was really a sell, in my opinion. So you can see it's all red. And people are just selling, right? So which meant that, hey, maybe there's some upside, right? So basically maybe the 45 is the bottom, and maybe you should sell this, right? So let's see, it's May 17. So I missed it. It's 99 bid at 101, so I didn't want to sell it there. So I was going about my business, and then I saw these trades come in. Right, so I was looking at it, and I see this huge block trade going, and you can see, oh, not EM, sorry, EWJ, Japan ETF. You see this 500,000 calls. So basically, some guy bought the June 11 calls and sold the June 12 calls 250,000 times, right, for about 32 cents he paid. So, I immediately checked the chart. It's same as the DXJ. I look at it. Maybe he's thinking it's going to 11 to 12 bucks. I should go to the options right here, and then I noticed that there's 292,030. There's already like the same amount open interest on the 12 line. So I actually click on the middle strike right here. So I'm going to click on it, and then you see on this date, Basically, you see that volume of 256,000 on March 6th. That's when this thing traded. So I go to March 6th. It's right here. I click on it, and boom, right? So this guy actually paid 33 cents 250,000 times of these June 21 12 calls on March 6th. And EWJ was trading 11.72 at the time. So essentially what he's doing is he's rolling down, and you know, unless he was like shorting stock, basically he lost money on this trade, and now he's adding it onto this other trade, right? So maybe he's rolling down because now he thinks it's going to go to 12, but whatever reason, this is closing, most likely in my opinion, and he is basically reestablishing at 11. Does that mean like he was bullish back then, it didn't work out, so you know he was bullish like back here, right? So here he thought maybe it was going to go up. You see like this day right here, if you look at this candlestick, maybe he thought it was going to go up. That didn't happen. It went straight down, and maybe he's saying, hey, look, if I like the 12s, I'm definitely going to like the 11-12 spread now, so he's putting it on. Whatever the case, I'm not sure. Usually don't like to piggyback somebody who's been wrong, so I kind of like wait until there's like other confirmation, but there's 2 orders there on the Japanese ETFs where they're kind of, the orders on the outset looks pretty bullish. So all those orders combined, not sure what you can do. I think if somebody had to tell me if I had to pick one, I would rather sell these. What was these? Yeah, the May 17 puts. Right, so I'll rather sell these for 106 if I could, than buy that call spread. But you know, that's just my preference. The reason I don't mind selling it is if I sold this right here, basically I'll collect on this whole amount if it doesn't fall below 44.38 pretty much, right? Which I kind of like. 44.38 is somewhere here, right? That means it has to pretty much set a new like low. Right, so last time they did it was somewhere in August, right? So it has to, there's like, you know, there's more, looks like there's maybe some support here, and it'll be a big move down versus the other call spread, EWJ, where right now, if it stayed the same right here, I would lose, right? I would have to, if I paid 32 cents for that spread, I would need EWJ to be trading at least 11.32. So in general, I kind of like trades where I can make money if the stock is there, or if it, you know, if it moves in my direction. Now, owning this spread, you can make double your money because you're paying 32 cents, and it could be worth $1 total. So you can actually make double your money. So that you won't be able to do if you sold the puts, right? You can only get 100% of that. So it depends on what you're willing to risk and what your parameters are. But in general, I think you know, it depends on what kind of style you like. And a lot of times, like, if you might not be able to sell the puts because of margin issues. So that's something I'm contending with as well. So if I look at this right now, it looks like the market had like a little bounce right here. You can see that little bounce. We'll see if this thing continues. But in the end, you know, we'll see if it's like kind of like just a little, like a dead bounce, and then we're going to go back down, or if it's actually going to go back up. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure. Although I'm kind of still bullish, I couldn't say for sure which way the market's going to go. Oh, also, I did this trade in Agilent. As you guys know, I sold the Strangle, the 12-13 Strangle for 17 cents. So right now it looks like it's working. So you know, there's more stuff on earnings. So I'm gonna try to do the earnings report here coming up. But you can also go to the community site and get it. It's a pretty good thing to have if you like playing earnings. And now that the earnings season is upon us, I think there'll be a lot of trades to do just surrounding earnings. Usually, what I like to do is I like to kind of get a couple of earnings under the belt just to see how they come in. And then especially if it's like similar group. So, you know, for me, JP Morgan and Wells Fargo are going to be the first. They're going to be in the financial and banking group. So how they report probably will have some kind of reflection on the rest of the banks before they report. So I kind of take that into account and go from there. But in the end, you know, there is probably some opportunities to do, and I'm gonna start blogging on those as well. But other than that, I hope trading is going well for you guys. I hope to get my account back on the upside here coming, and then we'll see how it goes. But you know, in terms of my trading, I'm learning a lot, and I'm getting better every day. So, you know, hopefully down the road, all this thing will add up, and I'll actually start having a strategy, definitive strategy to follow on a Reg T account and see how that goes. But other than that, hope your trading goes well, and talk to you guys tomorrow.